Namaste, dear listeners, and welcome to the Iowa channel Astro In with Abhi, Oneness in Astrology and Spirituality, bringing in awareness by Abhi. If you haven't subscribed as yet, please click on the subscribe button, like and share my podcast so that my content can reach as many people as possible that would benefit from my insights. Now, I've had a very lengthy conversation with somebody, and this was in relation to marriage and this is something that's very common today, and that is purely on attracting the right partner that will come into your life and obviously offer you commitment. So today's discussion is purely on commitment. What is commitment? Firstly, the reason why there is a break in commitment today is because nobody understands the importance of commitment, number one. Number two, because this world is Maya, illusion, everybody or most of the people today in today's world are all living a very externalized life. What I mean by this is where everything is externalized. There's external gratification that's required. You behave a certain way, I will behave a certain way. If you behave a certain way, I will behave a certain way. So everything is very external. My reaction is based on how you, whatever I'm given, I would react as to how I'm treated. This is a very unhealthy way of living, and therefore, in today's world, the commitment is never honored. So, the topic for today is why commitment breaks so easily. Why? So, commitment, firstly, is never understood in the first place because there's no difference from commitment to love. For love is commitment. Love never alters where alter finds. Therefore, commitment never alter where alter finds. Now, because the love is not real, therefore the commitment is not real, therefore it always changes. You don't do this, I won't do that. You give me 10%, I'll give you 10%. You give me 50%, I'll give you 50%. I will match your vibration. But you will see people that behave this way or live this way of life, they are very visible, very unhappy. And this is where um, there's so much of failed marriages. There's so much of failed relationships. There's so much of false friendships. There's so much of relationships with people that they are all a facade, and it's all because the meaning of relationship is not authentic. There's no real meaning behind it. People don't understand the meaning behind relationships. They don't understand the meaning behind commitment. Therefore, it's so easy to break. Why? Because it was never understood in the first place. So this is the reason today why commitment is such a dishonored word, is because it has never been understood in the first place. Just like love, you are searching for love externally because you never understood what love is. Love is an internal state of consciousness. When you understand this, love will gravitate towards you. When you don't understand this, love will never gravitate towards you. That which you did not understand will gravitate towards you, which is a misunderstanding. Therefore, there is so much of toxic people entering and leaving everybody's lives. Is because you are attracting that based on your state of consciousness. So, commitment by far is a consequence of love, and love is a consequence of choice. You choose to love. Love is not something that you find somewhere. Love is not something that enters your life. Love is something what you should be in a state of consciousness, and you attract that in people that you meet. Now, this is the reason why a lot of people where they are waiting for relationships for so long because they want somebody to come and give them some kind of love because they externalize the state of consciousness. Therefore, in a case like this here, one or two cases you might find this happening, but in very rare, but in most cases, even if you do end up in such relationships, the love is never real. You feel it, but you stay in it for wrong reasons. You stay in it just because you feel there's nowhere else to go, and you live a very minimal life, a life that is very far from peace, a life that is very made do, or a life that is um, a settled way of life. And this is not the purpose of life. Life wants to live its most authentic self, bring about the most prosperous experiences. But unfortunately, We have not understood commitment and love, and therefore we never ever understand it from an experiential point externally, because it has never been understood internally. So I hope that you understand, dear listeners, that commitment is a word that you should never throw around like hotcakes. Commitment is something that you've got to understand. That is, a commitment, it never alters, irrespective of how somebody treats you. Your commitment, your word is your word, and you stick through it. Even if the person is not giving you even 10% of love, you still love them, because love doesn't mean you need to be with them. You can love them by being afar from them. So, this is what love is. Love means it never alters, even where alter finds. You can separate yourself from the person, but the love is still there because you choose to be loving. And you love the person enough and you love yourself enough to allow yourself to separate because the frequencies are not matching. But you see, most people, they end up separated, but they don't love the person. They start to demise them because there was never love in the first place. It was just attachment. It was just a facade, or a fancified, or a fancy word of just of love that's just thrown around. Because love never alters, irrespective of what's happening externally. It never does. And if you have love within you, you'll have commitment. And that commitment will carry you even to move away from that person, but you will still make sure that you have best wishes for such a person. And such a love don't exist in today's world. It's very rare. And if it does exist in certain places, you'll never hear of it much, because such kind of vibrations are never externalized. They're all kept in silence, because love is silence anyway. So thank you very, very much, dear listeners. If you haven't subscribed as yet, please click on the subscribe button, like and share this to as many people. I'd really appreciate it. Jai Shri Krishna, Jai Shri Ram, Hari Bol, and goodbye.